It's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for inviting us. When Helena spoke to Sanjana a year ago, I think, Sanjana is my colleague from ICT for Peace Foundation, and you will see his presentation, the keynote, tomorrow, and it will be a very exciting keynote tomorrow. But when Helena spoke with Sanjana, we of course immediately said, this is a good idea. This is at the heart what ICT for Peace is. If you allow me to explain a little bit the history, the genesis of ICT for Peace Foundation, you can see I have a certain age. My background was diplomacy. I was a former ambassador of Switzerland. And by some reason, I had to do something with organizing the World Summit on Information Society, which some of you might or might not remember, in 2003 in Geneva and then in Tunis. And this morning I met a colleague from Sierra Leone, Andrew, who happened to be, here he is, happened to be in Geneva, and now he's an activist in his country using ICT for Peace. Anyway, while the World Summit in Geneva was really dealing with bringing in the world community in large terms to the emerging information society, ICT for development was at the heart. But there were people who came and said, how about peace? Because in the Millennium Development Goals, Goals, it's said, you need peace in order to have development and vice versa. So in the period between the first summit in Geneva and Tunis, I had a little bit more time, and we were about to study this question, whether this is something real or whether it is a gadget. The question is, can these tools really help the people who are in the business of peace building and conflict prevention and management? So we did this study, and then also we were able, and that's where my angle always comes in, we were able to introduce a paragraph at the Tunis summit in 2005, which reads as follows. You can read it, look it up. But it is sort of what we think is at the heart of what ICT or using ICTs to build peace is. And it enumerates all those functionalities. And now, as we know, this summit will have its review in 2010. And I think we should all work together to bring in those messages that we have from here in terms of experience, what have happened since 2005 in this very important field. We then, after this was achieved, this paragraph was achieved, said, what we're going to do about it. There's going to be lettre morte, or are we really doing something about it? And together with our colleagues, we defined what we could do. And so ICT for Peace, and at that time you must be aware, many people said, are you a little bit somewhere else, or what is the relation between ICT and peace and conflict? Anyway, we have thought us as promoters of this field, but also as a critical reviewer, a policy researcher, an advocate, and that's what we are trying to do until today. Who we are, this is our group. Of course, not everybody works for us, that is impossible, but some of them are working daily with us. Some are just helping with their policy, with their cloud. You see, we have Marty Attisari, who was an early supporter of us, and then, of course, Sanjana, which we come together in 2006, and then others like Joanna Rotic or Nigel Snowd, you might know. Hurry up. So what we do, we have done these wikis. The first wiki we did in Haiti in January 2010. We do now work and talk a little bit more rights and security. We do training courses to teach staff in UN missions on using ICTs in crisis information management. And then we work very closely with the United Nations and building the strategy, the UN Crisis Information Management Strategy, because we believe, of course, at the working level now, people are engaging in using these tools, but the senior leadership is not fully aware and not using these tools as they should. And that's why we went 2007 to the Secretary General and said, do something and start building this strategy, which you can look at it. I can explain more to you, but we need a strategy to implement what we're trying to do at the top level. Lastly, something that is very worrying to us, if we want to use the internet, the web, etc., for our purposes, we need a safe, sound, and trustworthy internet, worldwide cyberspace. And what we have been witnessing increasingly is that not only non-state actors and terrorists and others are trying to disrupt and endanger our work, but it's also states. So we embarked on a new program which we call Rights and Security for the Cyberspace, where we engage with governments and business to build and maintain an open and free cyberspace. So this is what we're doing. I thank you very much. I wish you good success for the conference and see you soon. Bye-bye.